let's talk about data a little bit more. Let's deep dive into this a little bit more. And so what I wanted to discuss this week is just talking about how data can be boring. Like let's be very serious. Let's be very clear, very transparent. When just hearing the word data, you're thinking, for what? Boring. Why are we even talking about this? And I'll give you that too, because I always thought it was boring too. I always thought, like, why am I even looking at all this stuff? But then what I started to figure out is, all this data, all it is information. All we're doing with this information is kind of painting a picture, painting this, for some people it's a short-term picture. Some people it's a long-term picture, but it's just information, whether it's quantitative or qualitative. All right, I'm gonna throw some keywords out there right now, but quantitative information, or it's qualitative information, and what you do with that information, again, is paint a picture. And so some of the things that I always used to like to watch when I was young is detective shows. I always watch Sherlock Holmes and Inspector Gadget, and I just dated myself really bad right now, but anyway, when you think about those type of like detective shows, all they're doing is just looking for information, right? They're looking for information to try to solve the puzzle, try to solve the mystery. And so that's what we're talking about, the mystery of how do you grow your fans? How do you figure out what's the best way of growing engagement and growth, and that all starts to formalize when you look at the data. And so when I talk about data, it could be the smallest things. It can be text messages to emails to looking at churn rates on your funnel of who's coming to your website, and some of this information that I'm talking about, or some of these words that I'm saying, are probably, or for some people may be like, what is he even talking about? However, we'll get to that point, right? We'll continue down this road and down this stream to make sure you're very familiar with this vocabulary and some of these key words. But the mystery of what I'm talking about is you as a musician understanding who is listening to you, who wants to engage with you. Like, just some of the data that you can find out is like, where are your fans from? Where are you going to go? Who to collaborate with? Trends, giving you more of an idea of what you want based off of data, right? And so let's start with that. Why is that important? Why is that important to understand who your fans are? I think it's very important, right? Because if you understand who your fans are, then you understand that your music may not be so wide. Maybe you narrow it down a little bit, especially when you're starting out as a new artist. You kind of try these different things because you're still trying to find who you are as a musician. So understanding that, and then understanding who your fans are, that may help you in your course of refining who you are as an artist. So that's why that's important. And where your fans are from, that's super important too, because that then starts to help you understand where you may need to tour, or where you may need to double down, or if a festival comes to you and they say, hey, we want you to be a part of this, and you know that you have a big fan base there, now you can incentivize your fans to come check you out at the festival, right? So it's just those kind of little things, like even a collaboration, I think, by understanding the things that make your fans happy will then, start to decide certain strategies or certain moves. When you start to think about, your fans are going to know you the best, right? They may even know you better than you know yourself. And so they may start throwing things at you like, oh, have you heard of this artist? Maybe you should collaborate with this artist. Oh, this person sounds just like you. You guys should work together. Your fans are really going to be the ones that dictate a lot of movement in your strategy of how you rise to your stardom. Thinking about how you're going to plan and make this roadmap and make these decisions based on the information that you have now. You can start to lay out, this is what 90 days could look like for me. This takes me straight into the summer. This is what, a whole year could look like for me. I want to start, setting some goals for myself. I want to hit 1 billion streams within 365 days. Well, the only way you're going to get to that point is by understand how many people are listening to you currently, right? And then so now that you understand who's listening to you currently, then you can back into those numbers of, okay, I need to hit this many streams a month, a week, a day to get to that number of 1 billion within a year. And that all starts with understanding your data, understanding who's listening to you, understanding all the things, again, the picture, understanding the bigger picture, which all starts with data. So that's why I wanted to kind of deep dive into understanding data a little bit more today, because when I threw that out there last week, I'm just talking about like, I want to help you with data. I'm sure some people are like, yeah, but like, what does that mean exactly? So I wanted to take a moment to really talk about that and talk about some of the things that you can get out of the data and information. One and the same, data and information are one and the same. How you can just look at those and not just see numbers and not just see, quantitative things or qualitative things. It's a story there. It's a story there that's waiting to be figured out, and it's a story that's waiting to be optimized and monetized. And so that is what I want to help with. That's what I'm working on. That's what I would like to work on with you. How do we look at your data? How do we build something? Everyone benefits from having a plan. And so let's do that. Let's figure that out. Thank you for joining me again. Every week, I will be making sure to put some fresh content up where we're talking about ways that we can energize for some your career, start out on a good path on your career, whoever I'm talking to. Though that's what I want to do every week, deep diving into different topics that have to do with music, may start to go in some different ways and some different topics, but this is where we're at right now, understanding data a little bit more. My name is Quay, Great Future Consultancy. Thank you.